Good afternoon, my name's Nurdon Serico. I'm the senior Gubbi Gubbi or Kabi Kabi elder, where mother was born on the Monondola River, which is the Mary River, at Tachikoi, and she went to school at Bollier School, which was just across from in Tachikoi, and she used to have to swim the Mary River to go to school with her aunts, and that she loved to go across there when it was flood time, because that was when the water used to flow through her aunt's long hair, and oh, she had absolutely adored going across the river there. And of course they lived off the river. They caught a lot of fish, good Murray cod and mullet and such like. And Uncle Andrew Ball used to smoke it, the big Murray cod, and he'd sell it at the markets. And of course the rainforest was rich with fruits and lawyer canes, and Uncle Andrew Ball, he used to make a lot of lawyer cane tables and chairs and sell them at the markets. So they were a pretty productive sort of family. They're very good workers, very good fishermen, so they were always in work around the area at Kenilworth. And of course they did a lot of work for Mr. and Mrs. Isaac Moore, who were very, very friendly to Aboriginal people, and in particular really raised our mothers and grandmothers, looked after them for many years, and they became very friendly, and of course the possum skins were always part of Aboriginal traditional means of keeping warm in winter, and for newly born children, to wrapping them in possum rugs to keep them warm. And of course the possums were, the most popular one was the black or scrub possum was the one of preference, because with the children the fur didn't come out easily, so the kiddies didn't inhale the fur. But with the grey possum, the fur was very loose and came out readily. So the grey possum was used an awful lot, but wasn't as popular because of that fact of losing its fur. The black or scrub possum, which was called, the scrub possum was called Gabala, and the grey possum, which is the forest possum, was called Guroi. And of course that's where the name Guroi comes from Guroi being that grey brush possum. The fur was loose on the black one, as I say, and to skin before making the cloaks, they had to keep the skin clean of all fat and tissue. So you scrape them with scrapers from mussel shells or flakes of suitable stone flaked off a mother rock, and they were very sharp, razor sharp, matter of fact. You had to be careful handling them, and had to be clean and of all fat and tissue, and then they would be stained with if they wanted to be coloured, they had to be painted. After treatment they dried, they had to be cleaned, thoroughly cleaned, then rubbed till they were soft with with oil, goanna oil, or some sort of fat off animal fat to make the skin pliable. Sometimes, if you wanted to stain them, make them a bit darker than the yellow, very pale colour, you'd put them in with wattle bark, put them in a container, a coolerman or something, and throw in a couple of hot stones. That would warm it up, and then that would become, with the wattle, make it a very dark sort of maroon, almost a dark red colour. But most times they didn't do that, but that's, if you wanted a darkened skin, that's how you did it. If you wanted it, as we did with the possum skins, putting figures on them, you used various types of staining, mostly wood staining, and the ones that we used were the bloodwood, the bark from the bloodwood. It would give you a red stain, or you could use ochres. You could use some ochres to use to paint them, and most people did use the ochre. And yellow jacket gave the yellow stain, or you could use the yellow ochre. And ironbark gave you the ash was burned, the wood was burned to get the ash, and ash gave you a very black type of ash, and it gave a very black stain. Or you could get the black ochre too. So there was two ways of staining them. We used mostly ochres because they were readily available. A lot of areas they're not available. The trees, and some of these trees aren't available in a lot of areas too, so you had an alternate. So you had 2 or 3 alternatives used, so if one dried up, you used the other, that sort of thing. Now the types of skins we used, they all had to be sensibly old or from sick possums. You never killed the healthy ones because that was not sustainable. And the big fat ones, or in good condition, they were eaten. They had to be thrown on the fire and roasted, and of course you couldn't do anything then. And of course they made the rugs. Some episodes I've seen where they can make the rugs to cover the whole family. So that must have been a big job, making those sort of rugs. There's the skin. You could stain that and paint on that, draw on that with the ochres or whatever you chose, or the trees, and that's the thickness of it. Beautiful, strong as can be.